In this video, we'll take a look at the new way buyer and seller commissions are handled in real estate. Now, prior to August 17th, 2024, buyer agent commissions were determined in the seller's listing agreement. The buyer agent commission was also being offered through the multiple listing service, and buyer agent agreements were optional but not required. However, buyer agency disclosures were always required. Now, what this really means is that in the seller's listing agreement, they would outline how much money would be paid to the buyer agent at the time of the sale. That amount was also put in multiple listing service so that both buyer agents and buyers would know what that fee was. Now, this is all the result of a large class action lawsuit against the National Association of Realtors and several large national brokerages. The suit determined that sellers should not be able to or have the ability to negotiate the buyer agent's commission when the property is listed. Now, as a result, the buyer agent commissions could not be offered in the multiple listing service. Buyer agent agreements are also now required before showing a property. And the primary reason for this is because buyers need to know how much they're going to be paying prior to seeing the property. This is what the old process looked like. The seller proceeds, which were managed by the closing attorney, would come to the closing table. All of the commissions would go to the listing office, and then the listing office would pay the buyer agent office their amount due. Following the change, all of the seller proceeds are still handled by the closing attorney. However, the closing attorney sends the listing office their portion of the commission and the buyer office their portion of the commission. So let's look at how this actually works. For sellers, a buyer agent fee is no longer allowed in the listing contract. However, experienced agents should explain to their seller that more than 90% of buyers are working with an agent, so they should expect to see the below. Now, for buyers, offer contracts have been updated to include the below section. Now, this wording basically replaces what was in the listing contract. However, instead of being in the listing contract, it's now put into the offer. So you can see that if you have a buyer agent agreement and you're paying 2.5% to get the services of a buyer agent, in order to have the seller cover that, this section has been added to the offer agreement so that the seller is agreeing when they accept the offer to pay the buyer agent. And this circumvents the need for the listing office to be involved with that part of the process. For more information about how this works for buyers and sellers, scan the QR code or feel free to reach out and I'd be happy to discuss in more detail. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day.